Hi everyone. So there's going to be new Star Wars movies, huh? This is exciting. This is really exciting, especially considering George Lucas won't be directing them. I was not happy with prequels. I was excited to see them, of course. I couldn't help but be excited because I've been excited about Star Wars movies since I was a little kid. But after seeing each one like 3 or 4 times, I realized, you know what, these movies aren't that good. Mostly during the dialogue scenes. Lucas, by his own admission, is not an actor's director, but these are particularly bad examples of acting and writing and just dramatic pacing. There's awkward pauses. They're just not very well made, you know, from a dramatic standpoint. You know, you've got lots of great digital effects involving spaceships and creatures and all kinds of stuff like that, and of course the scores are always really good from John Williams. Yeah, no, it's just, they could have been a heck of a lot better. And the fact that Disney has now bought Lucasfilm, is going to be taking the charge of Star Wars movies and is going to be releasing them now, starting in 2015, without Lucas as director or really as a screenwriter. It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. But the question is, who should take it on? Who should be the guy to lead the charge and oversee these new Star Wars movies, in particular, you know, Episode 7? Which supposedly will involve Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia in their later years. I've only seen this reported in one location, an Earthlink article, which I've linked below, so you can check it out. But I haven't seen any other notification that these characters from the original trilogy are going to be in the new one. There'll be Jedis, there'll be Sith, there'll be battles, there'll be lightsabers, there'll be creatures, there'll be different planets and space and all kinds of great stuff. Blaster fire. But as the question of which characters are going to be in there, is it could be just a whole new set of characters we don't know. They have mentioned that Lucas has written up story treatments, as they say, for episodes 7, 8, and 9. So there's a sort of a general sense of what the storylines are going to be. Presumably they took those treatments and they put them in a safe and they locked the safe and they dropped them in the bottom of the ocean so no one would ever find out what they are until, you know, the movies are actually well into production. Don't want to find out what all those details are well before the movies come out. But I've been thinking about who would make a good director for the new Star Wars movies. And the best name that I can come up with is Brad Bird. Brad Bird is, of course, the director of The Incredibles and Ratatouille Pixar movies, but he also directed Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So he has live action experience with big event films and animated experience, which is perfect because Star Wars is both a live action and an animated movie. That's very, very important. Plus, he's got a really strong sense of what makes an exciting, interesting movie, moment to moment. He's good with actors. He's good with the technical side. Guy knows his stuff. So I think they could do a lot worse than Brad Bird. The other people I was thinking about were the Wachowskis. Between V for Vendetta and The Matrix, they made some pretty exciting movies. Between the Matrix sequels and Speed Racer and those other ones I just mentioned, they have lots of technical experience with effects and set pieces and the digital world and what have you. So they might do well with that, you know. They'll probably rewrite the script or whatever if they got hired, but who knows what they're going to do after Cloud Atlas. But I think that they ought to be considered. And Brad Bird, I think, is you know, just the top choice, I think. There's lots of people who could pull off these movies technically, oversee a technical production. But I want a director who really knows the stuff as far as story and actors and the technical side. And I think those guys are the ones that really sort of dominate there. There are plenty of guys who could make good Star Wars movies if they wanted to, but they won't. Like Spielberg doesn't want to do big effects movies anymore. Cameron, only doing Avatar movies. Peter Jackson, only doing Hobbit movies. Christopher Nolan wants to do live action and practical effects a lot more than he wants to do digital worlds. Still wants to shoot on film and IMAX, of course, which is not a great idea for Star Wars. Tarantino, not that they would ask him, he prefers practical effects as well. And there's a whole bunch of Tim Burton, you know, maybe he'd want to do it. I don't know. It just seems like he's got the wrong sensibility. There are a whole bunch of people that could technically, you know, work on something like this and do well. Like, for example, Joe Johnston. Joe Johnston directed Captain America and Jumanji and Jurassic Park 3 and The Rocketeer. And so he's one of those guys that could pull off a technical production, you know, with the effects and everything. But yeah, you want a really good, solid director who's admired for dramatics and for the real soul of the story, which is, of course, the interaction between characters and drama, which is something that that the Star Wars prequels really were lacking. I like the stories of the Star Wars prequels, but the execution of those stories could have been a lot better. Lucas seemed a lot more focused on creature design and what have you. Anyway, so Brad Bird gets my vote. How about you? I bet you've got an opinion. What would it be? Would you like to leave me a comment? Would you like to leave me a video response and let me know what you think? Who should direct another Star Wars movie? I'm sure there would be some people who would really be clamoring for the job. So, who's gets your pick? Oh, by the way, another good reason why Lucas shouldn't direct any more Star Wars movies. Empire Strikes Back. He didn't direct it, and he actually thinks it's the worst of the Star Wars movies. Not just the first 3, but all 6. Boy, if you think that Empire Strikes Back is worse than any of the prequels, that's an issue with taste, my friend. You are clearly not suited toward making a Star Wars movie any longer. Thanks very much, Mr. Lucas. Appreciate all you've done. Enjoy your retirement. So yeah, look forward to hearing from you, if you'd care to. Catch you later.